Hi, my name is Trevor. My family arrived here in Oregon about a year ago. It's 1850 now, and we've settled into our life. Our journey was in 1844, and it was very rough. See, in the 1820s, the first explorers found what we now call Oregon to be free for the taking. With very fertile lands, a very disease-free climate with huge forests, big rivers, and creeks. The earliest settlers to the Willamette Valley, where we live, drafted the Organic Laws of Oregon, which granted land claims up to 640 acres of free-to-marry couples with the requirement they work to improve the land. This was a huge opportunity to start a new life where we could prosper, instead of being poor trying to work an over-farmed plot where we came from. So let me tell you a little about our journey. We used to live in Pennsylvania. My father, like his father, was a farmer, and sadly his crops were growing less and less each year. The land had been overworked. All the land there was already owned, and we didn't have enough money to buy more so we could rotate our crops. So many people were in the same situation as us here on the East Coast. Too many people living in overcrowded cities and not enough jobs. The only hope was the promise of the West and the amazing free fertile lands in Oregon that we heard about in stories. Some may have just wanted an adventure, but most folks were nearly starving trying to work on nearly dead land. It wasn't that terribly hard for a decision for my family.
We're going to have to move to Oregon.
Why, Pa?
I'm afraid there's just not enough here to feed the animals, feed us, make a life. It won't be so bad.
I don't want to move.
I know. Nobody wants to, but yet we all kind of do, because we could have a new life. Son?
Yeah?
What do you think?
I don't know. Journey's tough, but
The journey could be real tough.
yeah. But I think we got some pretty good stuff ahead of us. Yeah.
I think we're going to do it.
All right. Son, I know you don't want to move. I don't either. But I think Paul's right. I don't think we have a choice anymore. The farm's losing money. We can't pay our debts.
I've heard the trail's dangerous.
I know. There are Indians on the trail, I hear.
Water and food shortages,
Disease.
razors.
Scares me. But we're tough, we're strong. If we make it there, we can have a new life.
Oregon does sound nice. I'm a bit surprised.
By
All of a
what?
sudden, you know, everybody was moving west.
I know.
It was all fine. I don't know what happened.
I'd rather stay, but I guess we have to try.
And try we did. We were inspired and almost excited to head west because of explorers like John Fremont, an American hero whose reports from the Oregon Trail sounded almost enjoyable. But the real journey wasn't at all like the stories that we'd heard. We decided on our route. From Missouri, we'd taken the Mormon Trail to the Oregon-California Trail, all the way to Oregon and the Willamette Valley to stake our claim. But first we had to pack. A family of four like ours would need over 1,000 pounds of food to sustain us for 2,000 miles. We packed everything we needed, like guns, gunpowder, linens, tools, clothing, medicines, and of course our animals. The only way to haul that much food was a wagon. We didn't use a huge Conestoga wagon. They are just too hard to turn and handle in this terrain. Instead we used our farm wagons, which were actually well suited for the trip. We realized soon into our trip that we'd overloaded our wagons, and we had to start throwing things out. If we couldn't toss some things, the animals couldn't go fast enough, or we couldn't ride inside the wagon, and we would have to walk the whole 2,000 miles. This was only the beginning of the hardships for us and the people heading west each spring. This year there will be more than 60,000 folks making the trek west. Sadly, a lot of them won't make it. Finding a way to get over a river with our wagons and animals was difficult and a recurring distress for all of us pioneers. Accidents, breakdowns, sick animals, or fallen trees changed the trail and forced us to explore at times to make our way. We were always at the mercy of the weather. Great thunderstorms and lightning strikes killed hundreds every year, while others were just injured from hail. Sometimes there would be a ferry to cross a large river. A few pioneers realized they could make their whole living, or even get rich, charging folks to cross the rivers. They would charge up to $16, which was about the price of an oxen. Worse, these ferrymen allowed too many passengers on board, causing the ferry to sink. There were plenty of wagon accidents on the trail. We had two, from rough terrain to just plain mistakes. The worst was when someone got run over by a wagon, which sadly was the cause of death for many children on the journey. Perhaps the scariest part of the trail was the mysterious disease cholera. There was no cure. A person could go from healthy to dead in just a few hours. Indians died too. Travelers brought other diseases from the east that wiped out many of the Great Plains Indians. The wagons couldn't stop, so the dead were often left on the side of the trail. What a horrible way to die. Boredom, dirt, and dust were the three most common parts of my life. One of the scariest memories I have of my trip was when I wandered off because I felt bored. Well, I got lost and almost lost my family forever.
It's getting dark. I have to find a train. Where? I'll look for hours. This is coming right here. Wait, that's campfire music. Mom! Dad! Mom! Dad!
Son, where have you been?
Whoa, my boy. Where were you?
You. I got lost.
We looked all over.
I never forgot that lesson or the sound of Dad's banjo. I learned we have to always stick together. Not just me, Ma, Sethy, and Pa, but the entire convoy. We became a family for the whole journey. Speaking of sticking together, at night all our wagon convoys would park in circles to protect against Indian attacks and keep us safe from wild animals. The Indians are becoming a bigger and bigger problem on the trail. This is because we're hunting down too many buffalo, so the Indians are fighting for territory and resources. Well, I sure could tell you a lot more stories, but no, we're safe, happy, healthy, and a lot more prosperous with this great land. The journey was worth it for us, and I hope yours is too. Happy trails, partner.